Mickie James kicks down the door. I'm Matt Carlins, and this is just pro wrestling news for Saturday, January 8th, 2022. A big welcome to those of you listening on WrestleMap.com. You can bring our updates to your website. Find out how at justprowrestlingnews.com.
WWE.
Well, you knew WWE would find the forbidden door someday, but this news is still a shocker. 19 names were announced on Friday Night SmackDown for the Women's Royal Rumble match, and among those names is Impact Wrestling Knockouts champion Mickie James. WWE mentioned Impact and the Knockouts title by name during the SmackDown broadcast and online. Impact also announced the news, including a quote from EVP Scott D'Amore, saying, quote, WWE wanted it, Mickie wanted it, and Impact Wrestling's philosophy is always to work with other promotions to create buzz for the fans, end quote. Mickie James sort of overshadowed the other outsiders announced last night for the Women's Rumble match. They include the Bella Twins, Lita, Kelly, Michelle McCool, and Summer Rae. SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair also declared herself for the Rumble. Flair won a non-title match over Naomi on SmackDown, thanks to an assist from Sonya Deville. Jackass star Johnny Knoxville is officially in the Men's Rumble match. Also, Sheamus is now in. Roman Reigns will defend the Universal Championship at the Royal Rumble against Seth Rollins. The Usos are still the SmackDown Tag Champs. They beat King Woods and Kofi Kingston in a street fight main event on Friday night. Rick Boogs got a pin on Sami Zayn with a small package, and Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss beat the Viking Raiders.
Impact Wrestling.
While Mickie James may not be Knockouts champion for much longer, she is defending the title on tonight's Hard to Kill pay-per-view in a Texas death match against Deonna Purrazzo. The Knockouts tag title match is off of tonight's show. The title holders, The Inspiration, are self-isolating after being in contact with someone who tested positive for COVID-19. On to the rest of the Hard to Kill card. Moose defends the Impact World title in a three-way against Matt Cardona and W. Morrissey. Speaking of Forbidden Doors, Jonathan Gresham will defend the Ring of Honor World Championship against Chris Sabin. Trey Miguel puts the X Division title on the line against Steve Maclin. Plus, Josh Alexander versus Jonah. The first Knockouts Ultimate X match, Jordan Grace versus Chelsea Green versus Rosemary versus Tasha Steelz versus Lady Frost versus Alicia. And the Good Brothers and Violent by Design versus Heath, Rhino, Eddie Edwards, Rich Swann, and Willie Mack in a hardcore war. Start time for the pay-per-view is 8 p.m. Eastern.
AEW.
AEW has a live special tonight on TNT. It's Battle of the Belts, also starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. Cody Rhodes will not defend the TNT Championship on the show. AEW announced last night that he is not medically cleared. Instead, it's going to be Dustin Rhodes versus Sammy Guevara for the interim TNT title. Also tonight, Dr. Britt Baker defends the AEW Women's Championship against Riho. Riho and Ruby Soho beat Baker and Jamie Hayter on Friday night's Rampage. Riho rolled up Hayter for the pin. A third match was added to Battle of the Belts during Rampage. Ricky Starks will defend the FTW Championship against Matt Sydal. Getting back to the in-ring action on Rampage, Adam Cole beat Jake Atlas. Atlas hurt his knee at the very end of this match. Cole had to abort the Panama Sunrise and finish him with a knee bar submission. Atlas later tweeted, quote, "My knee will be just fine," end quote. Also on Rampage, Hook beat Aaron Solo. New Japan and Pro Wrestling Noah clash on Saturday. It's night 3 of Wrestle Kingdom 16 at Yokohama Arena. Kenta will not be on the show. He was pulled due to multiple injuries he suffered during his no DQ match against Hiroshi Tanahashi on Wednesday. Saturday night's New Japan Strong has Eddie Kingston. He will face Gabriel Kidd. The first episode of NWA USA drops on the NWA's YouTube on Saturday at noon Eastern Time. Matches include Colby Corino versus C.W. Anderson and Luke Hawx versus PJ Hawx. And that is just pro wrestling news for Saturday, January 8th. Our next update comes your way Monday morning. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and make sure you rate, review, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. I'm Matt Carlins. Thank you for listening.
This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.